Content of the video. In this video, I want to give you an introduction into events by showing you how to extract certain code into a dedicated subscriber method. And I want to do this by the example of using this template registration here and extracting it into a method and registering this method as a subscriber. So we want to head into the plugin bootstrap file and implement the getSubscribedEvents method. I simply have to start typing and it will automatically suggest this method for me because it is, well, inherited from the class that we are extending. And this method is expecting an array. So we want to return an array. And this array contains the mapping of event name to a method name that is supposed to be executed when this event takes place. So I want to choose an event which is the same as this pre-dispatch. So we want to look for an event kind of front-end routing demonstration pre-dispatch. The PHP Storm plugin for Shopware already comes with a list of events. It automatically parses the code in order to suggest us different events that we can register to. So I want to start typing routing demonstration. And here we already see highlighted the nlight controller action pre-dispatch front-end routing demonstration, which is exactly the event we want to register with. So I hit enter. And now we have to specify a method that we want to have called. I'm going to call this on pre-dispatch template registration. Depending on how many events you are registering from your plugin bootstrap class, you want to use rather descriptive names in order for other people to understand more easily what your methods are doing. So I'm hitting Alt-Enter. As this is highlighted, PHP Storm automatically wants me to create the according method. So I simply hit Enter and confirm this. So we see a bit of a pre-implementation here. What this does is it only extracts the controller instance from the event arguments. So we don't get the controller passed right in here. We get more of a struct, like a bit of an array of the parameters. And by doing getSubject, you extract the method from here, the controller instance from here. So I'm going to rename this to controller to make it a bit easier to understand. So what we want to do now here is register the template directory. So let's head back to the controller. What we did here was saying this view at template directory and pass the path of the template directory in there. So I'm going to copy this, or actually I'm going to cut this out because we don't need it here anymore, and paste it in here. So this is not going to work because the view property is a private property of the controller. So instead we want to call a method that returns the view. So first we have to call the controller, obviously, and then we have to say view, because this method will return us the corresponding view of the controller. There we go. So, and now we also have to keep in mind that our current location is different within this directory tree. So we have to make the path fit again, right? So we were in the controller's front-end directory, so we had to move up 2 layers. And now we are just inside this swag startup PHP. So we only have to go into resources, views. So we can delete this part here. And just to double check, we can start typing here and we see PHP Storm suggests the folder. So we are in the right layer here. So you see we have removed the template registration from here and pasted it in here and said always call this on pre-dispatch template registration method when this event here takes place. So let's reload the routing demonstration page and you can see it still works. So our templates are being registered. Just to double check that this is no caching thing, I got this little snippet which simply dumps whatever I paste into it for me. So you see we got this debug output here, which means that this method is actually being called. So now if I would head to any other page and reload this, you would see that it's not being called. And whenever I head to any routing demonstration page, you see my method is executed. We learned how to register our own event subscriber method and extracted some code into this and always made Shopware call our method when the front-end routing demonstration event takes place. So we subscribe to an event which is always called when some controller action is called. So what I want to show now is how to subscribe to more global events and show the real advantages of making your own dedicated methods, because what we're doing now is exactly the same as we did before in the pre-dispatch method, and just placed it somewhere else. And now I want to show what the other advantages or the big advantages of this approach are. In order to do that, I want to show you how we replace this search field, the text field up here, by doing a simple template override and then register to different events and have our templates loaded conditionally depending on which event takes place. So let's get into the code and get into the code of this website and find the corresponding part where this search bar is defined. So I want to go right click and inspect DevTools, whatever your browser calls it. And again, we can see that this is probably the best surrounding place we want to look for. So I'm looking for class main search form. I will copy this whole thing here. Then get back into the code. And here I'm saying right click on themes and find in path. So we find the corresponding template. And you can see this is the search TPL template. Hit this little cross here to see where it is. It is in front-end index search TPL. And we have a surrounding block called front-end index search container. So I'm going to copy this. And what we want to do now in order for this template to be overwritten by our own template, we have to create the same template under the same path. So I'm going here in front end, creating a new file, and we have to place it in the index directory and call it search.tpl. And now we have to say that we extend the existing search TPL. So I'm writing extends file. It's important not to forget the parent in front of the file path, and then front end index search.tpl. And I'll just paste the block that we've copied before. Oh, let's be a bit nicer. Nothing to search for here, and close the block again. Now we have the setup done, and every time this front-end routing demonstration event takes place, our method is called and the template directory is being registered. So because we placed this under the same path as the existing search TPL and on top we said extend the existing file, we should have the search block disappear and our content instead being rendered at this position. So let's get back here. You see I am in the routing demonstration controller, reloading this, and you see just as we expected, the block is replaced. So if I head to a other page, for example the home page, the event doesn't take place, and accordingly our template directory isn't registered. So if I wanted to subscribe to a more global event, or say I want to subscribe to any front-end controller call, I would simply say, okay, I remove the controller name at the end of the event and simply say nLike controller action pre-dispatch front-end, and now our registration takes place every time a front-end controller is called. So as I reload the main page, you can see that we also get our block extension here. And if we, on the other hand, want to be a bit more specific again, for example, only apply our changes to the product detail page, which may be the case if your plugin is only supposed to extend the look of a detail page, maybe if you want to show some images or change the looks of the heading or the looks of the place in cart button. You maybe want to just be more specific about it and say, okay, register to the detail controller. So if I head to another page, you can see that our search bar is displayed again, and as soon as I get back to a detail page, the detail event is thrown, our template is registered, and we can see the block is replaced up here.